This is a pair of Johnston & Murphy desert boots. A suede material with these gum soles. These were just a garage sale find for about $3, and they sold for $53. This is an Aquatron. It's an AM/FM stereo, radio, and 8-track player made by Brother. These were actually on the set. One of these was on the set of VH1's 8-track flashback show, if you remember that. Kind of a cool item. Took a little work to get some paint specks off it and clean the tape head and make sure everything worked good on it, but it does. And it sold for $90, and I got it for less than $10 at a garage sale. Kind of a bundled item with some other stuff. I found both of these pairs of shoes or boots and sandals at the same garage sale yesterday. They wanted $5 for these boots. I hesitated just a little bit, even though they're really cool vintage Red Wing Irish Setter sport boots. They're a size 10C. Took a little research, but 10C and the measurements made them out to be a men's narrow. And then these are Doc Martin sandals. Sort of a cool little star design on them. I always hesitate on these, even though they're only $1, because they always look so grungy, but a little saddle soap cleaned them up, and they both sold within, actually, these boots sold within minutes, literally minutes of listing them for $80, and then these sold for $30. This is an old portable tube radio. It's a Zenith Transoceanic. These are pretty cool. And this one's kind of beat up, but it does work, mostly. I did a little video of it and described it pretty accurately. I picked this up for about, well, it was less than $10 at a garage sale since I bundled it with some other items. But it sold for $80. This is a Tilly airflow hat. I don't find these out in the wild too often, but when I do and they're $5 or less, I always pick them up. And this one took a while to sell. Actually, I sold it once and it didn't fit the person just right, so they sent it back and sold it again. So hopefully it sticks this time, and it went for $44. These are vintage Nebraska football tumblers put out by a local burger joint in Lincoln. It's not that far away from me, really, just a few hours. But I got these in a box lot, so they really didn't cost me anything. It's got the names of the team they were facing that week and their all-time record against that team. And they sold for $35. This is a vintage fedora, I'm guessing 30s or 40s. I got this at a garage sale, and the little lady had it right up by where she was collecting the money, and I thought, oh boy, she probably wants a lot for that. She says, oh no, just $1, because it's so old. It's a Mallory Cravenetta Sheds Showers. See, it doesn't have any kind of a lining. It does have the size tag, and some of the stitching on the sweatband has come loose. But other than that, it's in pretty good shape. And it sold for $80 via Shop Airlines America, one of those services for overseas buyers going to Japan. Another vintage cooler, steel cooler. This one is a Vagabond by Thermos. Pretty good shape. And it sold for $70. This is a vintage Techniques turntable that I bought with a bunch of other stuff on a little road trip a couple weeks ago. This conveniently came in its original packing and box. You get an idea of how they packed them from the factory. I kind of try and emulate this when I pack them and I don't have the original material. But it didn't take very long to sell, and it sold for $180. This is just a couple pieces of vintage stereo ephemera for these vintage Sennheiser headphones. If you ever find these, I'm sure they would sell for a lot, because this little press release and information on them. Sold for $11. This is a Fini Walker desk clock. It's got a little calendar on the face of it. It's a wind up. It says RCA Industrial Tubes on the back. 22-year calendar. As you can see the numbers there. Starts probably 1947 and goes up to 1970. Well, I found this at a indoor antique flea market kind of thing they have here during the cold months. And they only wanted $5 for it, and I just knew somebody's going to think this was cool because I did. And it sold for $70. This is a pair of new in-the-box Panama Jack chukka boots. There was 2 pair of these at a garage sale, $2 a piece. I bought them both. This is the second pair to sell. And they went for $35, and they're going to the United Kingdom via the global shipping program. This is a fancy canvas hat with a sort of a faux suede brim on it. And if you're surrounded by cornfields like I am, you know this is the emblem for Pioneer seed corn. Plus it's got it embroidered on the back. Anyway, this was just a $2 garage sale find, and it sold for $22. This is a vintage 1986 Chicago Bears Super Bowl 20 corduroy hat. It's all fully insulated, and this was just a 50-cent garage sale item, and I had a sale last week, so it sold for $17.59. This is a vintage realistic cassette repair kit, brand new in the package yet. And this was just part of all the vintage stereo equipment I bought last fall, and it sold for $20. When I picked this little fishtail mug up off the table at a garage sale, the guy came up and said, "Hey, I made that in high school." And it just looked cool enough that somebody else might want it. It's only 50 cents, and it sold for $20. Did take a few months though. This is a Kelty Backpack with a frame. I picked this up at a garage sale. I didn't think I was going to buy anything at this garage sale, but saw this at the last second and did the move that Mikey talked about a couple of years ago on the podcast. You do that over the shoulder, give you $5 for that, and he took it, and it sold for $60. This is an old Sheffield Carving Set that I probably paid $2 at a church sale for, but this was like 2 years ago. It's got some pretty nice looking swirly handles on it, but finally took an offer of $13 for it, and I had it listed with priority shipping, and he writes me back and he says, "Hey, first class is only $3-4. And I said, well, it weighs 15 ounces lightly packed, or over a pound securely packed. He still only wanted to pay first class, and it was still $6.45 for him. So, but good to have this one out of the box and out the door. I bought about 5 costumes in a box lot at an auction for a couple dollars, and they have quite a following, some of these vintage costumes. This one looks like it wasn't even worn, and it went for $27. This is a VCR and DVD recorder combo. These are still sought after. I got this for $10 at a garage sale. Sold it to someone in England. It didn't work for them. They sent it back. And now I've sold it to someone in Norway. Hopefully they'll figure out the voltage difference. And it sold for $117. This is just a bicycle horn. I bought it to put on my bike, warn pedestrians when I'm coming up behind them. But I got a bell instead. It was 75 cents at a garage sale, and it sold for $8. Another desert camouflage Air Force battle jacket, extra large. This is one of the last ones I have of these, of all the ones I bought. And this sold again for $20. This is a vintage Panaview slide viewer. Came with the original box and instructions and the original AC adapter. I Got this for just a couple of dollars at it was probably in a box lot at an auction, and it sold for $27.